there was something that changed in Gamble at a very specific point, Dan, and I don't know if you'll agree with me. But there was something that changed in Gamble. There was a point in time where Gamble was it was almost like he was just happy to be there. He was happy to be involved, happy to be in these matches, kind of getting his reps in. And then something changed. Something changed, and Anthony Gamble had a shift in attitude, a shift in mentality, a shift in aggressiveness. You know when that was?
When?
After he had that match against Steve Pena.
Absolutely.
That match changed everything for Anthony Gamble.
100%. Now we're seeing a hungry Anthony Gamble, a more aggressive Anthony Gamble. And even though Jorge Santi has him on that headlock right now, this is what we're talking about.
And you got to wonder if this match is only going to do it again, if it's going to ratchet that intensity up even further. What would it do to get a win against a man that he respects so much in Jorge Santi?
Coach, a mentor, Jorge Santi, right now is taking control of this match by wrenching and attacking that arm.
Earlier tonight, Anthony Gamble performed on Invictus Pro Wrestling's kickoff show, and almost every student from the Fallout Shelter was here to support Anthony Gamble. They looked to Anthony Gamble for guidance. They looked to him for leadership. He is, you know, for lack of a better word, the shining star, the guiding light right now for these students. Where do we go? How do we do it? You got to think everybody right now backstage is watching this match to see how Gamble performs against Coach Santi.
Drop kick by Jorge Santi.
A little bit more of a leg lariat there, Danny.
Pin kicks out at 1 though, Pete. 1. Goes the aggression, the strength of Anthony Gamble.
Jorge Santi's resume, it spans a decade. This man has been in the ring against the likes of Christopher Daniels, Bandito Jr., Jigsaw, Frankie Kazarian, the Young Bucks. Some of the names that we're seeing on television, the legends that we talk about. This man has been in the ring against a who's who from PWG's top 10 list. And like you said, it's like he's getting better with age, like a fine wine.
And Anthony Gamble with these strong strikes. Both these gentlemen just exchanging attacks and strikes. Jorge Santi just strong knee on the arm of Anthony Gamble, and he applies the pressure.
As you were talking about, the experience factor definitely going to come into play here. Jorge Santi, over a decade of experience in that ring. I just mentioned all the different opponents that he's had, the brains he's gotten to pick over the years. Anthony Gamble, a little less than 2 years in the game.
But here, what we're going to see is experience. Oh, my goodness.
Some explosiveness right there out of Gamble.
It threw me off guard, completely made me lose my train of thought. But what we're seeing tonight is experience versus aggression versus heart. Jorge Santi with a strong kick. Oof. Goes for the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out. These two gentlemen, I'm telling you, we're in for a treat right now with this matchup. Jorge Santi just stomping Anthony Gamble.
You know what this takes me back to?
Yes.
2002. Television. You know what moment I'm referencing, right?
Which one?
When a young man in red tights stood up to a veteran and said, what does he bring to the table? Ruthless aggression.
Absolutely. We know that that man turned out to be a big star.
And that's what I'm seeing right now out of Anthony Gamble.
Absolutely.
I'm seeing 2002 ruthless aggression.
Yes.
I'm seeing the type of young star that's going to walk back through those curtains and get the respect from the veterans.
Oh, strong elbow to Anthony Gamble. Ooh, Jorge Santi just attacking. Just when you think that Anthony Gamble has it, Jorge Santi shows that experience. But then we see the aggression by Anthony Gamble. Strong strikes by Anthony Gamble, just plumbing Jorge Santi.
What does it mean, Danny, tonight, if Anthony Gamble is able to secure this victory, over Jorge Santi?
I think it's a very well-deserved victory, but because they don't call him paid in full. We didn't name him the captain of the Fallout Shelter by accident or as a nickname. It's a very well-deserved title that this man has, and he's shown that not only can he lead the pack of the Fallout Shelter, he can go toe-to-toe with anyone, and that includes the coach, Jorge Santi.
But you got to think what it could do to the psyche. I mean, listen, let's just be very honest. As professional wrestlers, as professional athletes, there's always a little bit of ego involved.
Absolutely.
And to lose to one of your students, I get it, right? There's that passing of the torch, but Santi's nowhere near ready to pass the torch.
Absolutely not.
To lose to one of your students, it's got to drive a little deep.
And that's why I'm saying this match is going to be very hard-hitting, very strategic, because none of these gentlemen want to lose this one. Both of these gentlemen have something to prove. Anthony Gamble shows that he has everything to prove as the captain, and Jorge Santi showing why he is indeed the coach. Spinning kick by Jorge Santi, knocking Anthony Gamble outside of the ring.
Listen, he was going to get him off that top rope one way or another. After 7 attempts to try to superplex Gamble off that top rope, Santi abandoning the cause and saying, well, I'll get you off a different way.
Jorge Santi taking control of this match. Strong stripes to the back of the head. Anthony Gamble returning those strikes. Both these gentlemen look very worn out, very tired, but they both have heart. Strong strikes by both these gentlemen. Those elbows to the back of the head. Jawbreaker. Anthony Gamble going for the pin. 1, 2, oh!
This is the second time that Anthony Gamble has had an opportunity to face one of his coaches, as we mentioned earlier.
Oh my gosh! That's a curry by Jorge Santi.
Take you to Dream Street real quick right there.
Telling you, these guys just keep ducking us out of our... Oh my God! Samoan drop by Anthony Gamble.
Out of nowhere.
1, 2, and a kick out. Oh man.
Out of nowhere, that Samoan drop like lightning in a bottle. It struck when you least expected it to. But as I was mentioning, Dave, the second opportunity that Anthony Gamble's having to go up against one of his coaches.
Yes.
He went up against Steve Pena, as we spoke about, and now going up against Jorge Santi.
Which goes to show that Anthony Gamble has everything to prove in this match. Showing, oh, look at this. Oh, my goodness. That forearm by Jorge Santi. Spinebuster. Goes for the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out.
And the strength of Santi, but there's not a lot of men who can lift Gamble like that.
Absolutely not.
Looking for that first win over one of his coaches.
Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness, Pete.
Whirly Dervish lands Santi right on his face, and Santi looks like he's a little out of it right now.
Goes straight for the German suplex and a pin. 1, 2, and a kick out. This is exactly what we were talking about, Pete. None of these gentlemen are willing to take that pin. None of these gentlemen want to lose this match. Both of these gentlemen have something to prove.
But one of them's going to have to, and it's either going to be the coach in Jorge Santi or the captain in Anthony Gamble. And right now, Santi's taking some deep breaths. He looks like he's a little gassed.
Ooh, and a strong strike by Jorge Santi. Goes for that pin. 1, 2, and a kick out. Goes for another one. 1, 2, 3. Oh!
Maestro Cradle there.
And it is that experience that we were talking about, Pete. And that's why he is the coach of the Fallout Shelter.
Jorge Santi quickly rolling through some crucifix pins there and got that Maestro Cradle. Got him a quick 1, 2, 3, shocking Anthony Gamble, and I think almost shocking Santi himself too.
Absolutely, and it goes to show that that's the type of expertise that you need to put away an opponent like Anthony Gamble.
Anthony Gamble now 0-2 against his coaches.
But those victories that those coaches have were not easy victories. They knew. Jorge Santi showing his respects to his student, the captain of the Fallout Shelter, Anthony Gamble.
And you got to think Gamble's going to want to get a win sooner rather than later I don't know. Does he go back to Pena? Does he want a rematch with Santi, or does he try for Mike Law? Maybe even Masha. Does he try to challenge one of them for a match?
And how amazing will those matches be? Those are going to be like, you can always count on Anthony Gamble to put on a show, to give you that match that you know you want to see.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next.